Days for Girls International, an American NGO, has introduced washable, sustainable menstrual products for young, vulnerable girls. They have been training teachers in some parts of Machakos on how to educate and teach teenage girls who have started their menstruation and from poor and vulnerable families how to keep safe and clean during the periods. The menstrual product can be locally made and can sustain a young girl for an entire 3 to 5 years. Speaking at Caring Arts Girls Secondary School, where they held a seminar for teachers from various schools in Matungulu and Kangundo, Machakos County, Susan Thompson and Doneta Stephensen demonstrated and taught the teachers on ways to keep young girls in school and comfortable without incurring more cost buying sanitary towels.
That's the way their bodies are made. God made us this way. Men don't get to have babies. That's pretty miraculous, the way the whole process is, and women get to have the babies. So our bodies are so that someday it can create a baby. So every woman's menstrual cycle is different, and this chart shows the 28-day cycle with the 5 to 7 days we'll probably have would be, when are they most likely? I'm going to ask that of you, but you need to tell them. Okay, so, and you all know the answer. For about 7 days around the time they ovulate. 7 days around that time?
Probably because you don't know. If your cycle is not 28 days, you might ovulate here to here, or here to here, right?
Yeah, I'm thinking so too.
Yeah.
Probably in either side of this window would probably be for pregnancy. And again, can a girl know? I doubt that she would be able to tell. Though as they get to know, as they get older and they get to understand the feelings that they have when they're going to start their period, and they, some girls, their periods are so regular that they probably could figure out when that might be for ovulation. So because they don't know when they ovulate, well, I'll just read these questions instead. It says, because you don't know when you ovulate, what should you do? So you either choose to stay away from having or not have sex so you don't get pregnant, and you guys can't say anything more. Never mind. Obviously there should be some precautions.
Don't tell Vincent.
So when you start menstruating, does that mean that it's time to get pregnant? Which I never thought about that, I guess, as a young girl. But you want to be sure that they understand that, oh no, so you're born with all the eggs that you'll ever need, hundreds of thousands of them, and that means you have plenty of time to have a baby. So, and then again, they need to be, it's best to be at least 18 or older when they have a baby, because they're still not completely developed. In order to have the best for both the mother and the baby, it's good to wait till that age. Why is it healthier to wait? And the answer is, those are important questions, and you all know the answers. Yes. Okay. Oh,
The calendar.
You're up again.
Am I up again?
Yeah.
Mentioned the menstrual cycle calendar, and last year, again, we just brought little calendars that each girl could have so that they could tell when they were going to have a period. But in our Days for Girls kits, we'll actually, so that they can mark off when they start their period, when it ends. And the bottom part shows how the calendar and menstrual cycle doesn't usually start on the same day each month. At the bottom of the page, the example shows, do is just to show you. So Vivian, we'll just say it's Vivian.
Would it look good?
We'll just show this.
All right.
So her period started on the 8th day of March. So she put an X on day 8. She had a period for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days. Close if your average menstrual cycle is 28 days. 17, 18, 19, 20. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 26. Her period started on April 4th. So she period for 4 days. So to calculate when her next period should start, she would start that 28th day, her period should start.
Might start.
Should start, might start.
Yeah.
So what I used to do, and I don't know about you, Doneta, so I could kind of know X when I thought. Because if I was out of town or someplace I didn't want to get, so it's important to show the girls their calendars, so at least at their period, they go to Margaret and say, I need pads. Well, not anymore. Periods are going to start. They can at least have their kit with them and have one of the shields. Pads. Pads. And what happens when the girls start their periods? Was before we did the kits. So when they started their period, they would go to Margaret and say, I need pads. And eventually, when their period might start, so that's tucked in their backpack or their pocket and be prepared. Because they're in class, they get out of class, they go to the bathroom and bang. This is like July, or let's say it's August 3rd, and again, we'll go over this one more time. So let's say I still have my period, yay, I don't anymore. So let's say I started August 3rd, and I had a period for 5 days. I would mark an X for 5 days. And then to calculate when my next period would start, you start counting on the first day of your period. Count 28, or maybe your cycle's every 26 days. You count 26. And then that way again, they suggested, I don't know if it's up to each girl or it's up to you how you teach it, they suggested to put dashes on the days that you don't have a period. It doesn't matter whether you put dashes or just leave them blank. But each one, are you showing that one?
Start in September, and this is good through August of next year. So, I would say just to do it that way. So it's good for 1 year to have them track their cycle. So now they do have specific guidelines in the way that the kit is made. It's made to last between 3 to 5 years if they're taken care of like they should be, washed gently and those things. Now we know that sometimes just having the underpants is a problem. So each kit comes with panties, 2 pair, and
They're all cotton.
they have 2 what we call a shield that looks like this.
It looks like a cross.
And this, well, first we're going to put then liners. Okay, let's do the liners next. Where did
While you find the liners, I'm going to tell you how they're made. All of these. This is 3 pieces of cotton, or 2 pieces of cotton, and then there's an inner lining called pull. It's polyurethane laminate, and it's a waterproof material. So that if the girl is having her period and it goes through even the liners and onto her shield, that PUL, that polyurethane, stops the bleeding from going through to the bottom.
It won't go through to her clothes, hopefully. It shouldn't. Okay, then each kit has 2 of these. So oiled or, for periods lasting a long time and she needs to change to a new one. Then she has an extra. Anyway, so there's 8 of these in the kit, and this is two pieces of flannel thick. As you can see, it's been sewn to this other piece of flannel. Then they're folded once and twice, so you have quite a bit of absorbency.
6 layers.
6 layers of absorbent material, and flannel is very absorbent. So then this fits inside, so this is the same shield. Well, you just do it.
These little pockets.
So
you take this inside this material, and you just tuck it in the pockets. Now we're getting some reaction.
yeah, now why is that? Does this look funny? Interesting. Well, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, so it comes with 8 liners. So if you're having a really heavy period, a comfortable amount of liners that you can tuck in here, or 3 of them. But comfort, to be comfortable.
Well, and you wouldn't need more than that.
I wouldn't think
2
so.
would be plenty.
Yeah.
You've got 8 layers of this.
Yeah.
Not 8.
So you just tuck more in here.
And then, of course, this, you still tuck in.
I'm still tucking. Okay, so we've got 2 liners in here. And then, would you hold the piece like this? It looks cumbersome. I can't do
Susan, I it looks like it's orchard in trash.
It looks cumbersome. So see how that works?
But I
So
don't
they
think,
snap.
I don't think it's what they wear now, is it? I mean, isn't the stuff that they wear now pretty bulky? So anyway, that's what it's like. Want me to put it on for you? Here you go. to show you more of the kit. Every kit comes waterproof. So we know that there is, that all plastic is banned in Kenya. So in most countries, just send it, so that when they have a soiled pad, they can put it in a plastic bag. Since that can't be the case in Kenya, we have specially made these just for Kenya. I give Kenya credit for this. I think it's a smart move, as we have way too much plastic in it. It does. It blows all over in the USA too. It's bad that it's been banned here. But when the girls have a soiled pad, we know they're not going to be able to wash right away. So they put it in this, and it's got this waterproof stuff. Nothing's going to leak through. And then they can just store them in here until wash day. So that's what this is about. And so each kid has a bag to put them in. Once this has blood on it, they take it out, they put it in this bag. We were asked if that's going to have some odor. It's going to be smelly. Hopefully, because it's waterproof, it will be at least somewhat odor-proof. I don't know for sure how well, but there's really nowhere else to put that once it's used. So then the girl would either put a new one in, or perhaps first thing in the morning she would want to put 2 in the shield, and then when this one is, take the time to put in a new one. And if they're, something else I was going to ask. Yeah, and they wouldn't want to wear more than 3. And if that's what they want to do all day, I mean, they could even do that if they wanted to put 3 in first thing in the morning, and then just as they're soiled, take it out, put it in here, that kind of thing. Okay. And by the end of the day, they'd still have a pad.
It really just depends on how. So at the first of your period, like lots of times it's light, so you might only need 1. But then the second day, your period is going to be heavier, so you put 3 in, or 2. It just depends on each girl.
But I was thinking rather than to have to put in each time,
they could just take one off,
take another off. You could even do it that way. Now the other thing is, in order for these to last as long as possible, the idea is that once the pad, if they have any soiled pads, it would be best if they could wash them at the end of each day, or wash them as soon as possible, so that the stains don't set in. But the reason that we have the wild colors and patterns and have particularly picked this kind of material, or print, I should say, so that if there are some stains, and there's going to be some stains on it, it's not going to be real obvious though. So, and this just looks like a handkerchief basically. So the idea is then when they do wash them, they take some soap and, wash them in cold water, of course, which is good for any kind of blood, anything with blood on it anyway. And then by just hanging it on the clothesline, the sun will sterilize it and make it germ-free. But again, it has to be completely dry. They don't want to use it again before it's completely dry. So questions? I'm thinking.
These, and she showed them to me, and they're clothesline loops. So it's just a piece of ribbon with some snaps on it. So you snap it over the clothesline, and then when you wash your shields, you just snap it to the last snap, and it can dry on the clothesline. So it's pretty clever. So this is not a Days for Girls thing. It's something that our team came up with that we brought to the girls at Caring Hearts. So I don't know if this would be easy for your girls even to make for projects. That would be kind of fun to make, and we could figure out where to get you snaps because they're pretty cheap.
These would be kind of tricky just to hang over the clothesline. We're realizing that there's probably a need for a clothespin for these. You would agree? So I wonder if we could just send 8 clothespins along with it.
We could do that.
That would be easy, yeah. So I guess here's the question too. So most of the girls then, I think there's a couple schools maybe where the girls will be staying at the school, but if it's a school where the girls go home with this, then is there a problem with them hanging these on the clothesline with the rest of the laundry? No.
It's okay.
Okay. And the boys, their brothers don't tease them, that it's no big deal, the dads go, whatever. They just ignore it. Okay. Like that, and then take it out, rinse it, and they need to get as much blood out as they can, but then hang it on the line and it'll be.
And another thing to tell the girls is so they can just do their soap or do like Doneta.
And maybe that would be the best way to teach them because, so maybe just some water in here and then just kind of move it around. That would probably be the very best. Be sure they're dry completely. And then just store them until they're needed again for the next month. Now, please discuss that now. Did I answer your question? Oh, you were saying about TOEIC. So here's the dilemma. At school, if the girl takes out the pad, well, now she takes the pad out of this, they'd have to put it in here, they have to take it back to their backpack, and then the back.
With any other girls or any other schools? So it has the what?
They're both
inside. Stay together, you are less likely to be attacked. Where are you strong in addition to your mind and heart? This is where Donnie is going to show. Mind, or maybe grabs you around the waist. Talk to the girls about just giving them an elbow to the gut. Also the heel of your palm. So if somebody's coming up to you, one of the really strong things to do is take the heel of your palm and go up into their face and break their nose. Because that's one of the most vulnerable spots. So have a hit in the nose,
to their eyes.
or even in their chin, like if you can reach their throat, but probably their nose is the most susceptible. Heels, if somebody grabs you from behind, so like that, if your feet are free, grab with your heel on their foot. Stomp down and then scream like mad and run. And especially on the instep. You're probably too scared to think, am I going to hit them on the instep or the outstep? But I just say stomp, and hopefully by that time they go like this, their arms fly away from you, and you just run.
Okay.
Okay, bam.
So, I see if it looks like they'll fit, but that's what these were, and then we did not, so this is the size going in here. Oh. The size.
Vince said each so they can use those to teach women. Watch the page. And once it does that, it comes with 8 flannel sheets that plug into these pockets. And it comes with 8 flannel shields. Then have another we call a hot spot. And then it's folded in thirds. And so 6 layers of protection. So these slip into the pockets. And one soil, you can take it out and put it in what's called a transport bag. Since it came in a van, plastic bags, we had to come up with something to put the tips in, or the liners. So it comes in a transport bag.
There we go.
Soil liner. Bars goes into the transport bag.
Books and everything. So basically, come here, come is and that
Bar of soap.
uniform. So we are ready to
Wash the liners.
now. When you start getting more, you do something which is very good. I'm the only one who produces the money, and I want this to be self-sustaining, so that I can
That's it.
We have just finished buying a piece of land, 4 miles,
On a washcloth.
4 kilometers from here to build a boys' school. The question was whether it was 18 or something. There's a question here. There's a question here. The question is this. We are going to train them. Do you train them, and will they be able to be given support, or they are just being trained and that's it? And that's a very, very important question. I am going to say this in the beginning. Actually, I want every teacher who was here to go and count the number of students in their school who I need, not every student. And then we will be able to support those who are completely making machine so that she can be teaching our people how to make bread. And come January, we are not going to buy bread. Oh yeah. So what the thing here is, I know she can make uniforms. So you have been presented here. I need you to come and get.
We're very irregular. So I never knew when it was gonna happen, but I'd be at school and I turned green because heating pad or a hot water bottle, and that was about the only thing. And then I would take, there's pills for cramping, like Midol. Have you ever heard of
You guys have
that?
that, and pills for cramping?
That Midol, I don't know what's in that, but it just made me shaky and I didn't like it. So I would take maybe Tylenol or acetaminophen or something that way. And if I could go to sleep, it seems like the cramping would relax, you know, and I usually, that's the only thing I could do. But one of the suggestions for girls that, now again, would a girl tell you that they're having cramps?
Yes.
Or they will tell you, or as you say, or like me, maybe you can tell. They're probably just really quiet and maybe even holding their stomach or something, and you just think, is there a problem? So if they're having cramping, this says it's good to keep moving. If they can possibly walk to school or play on the playground, keeping the body moving is supposed to be actually good for the cramping. I couldn't do it, but you know, if that would help, I mean, you could just say, try this for the girls. The other thing is, either, do you have water bottles? Do you know what I'm talking about? That you fill with hot water? But now, how easy is it to get hot water? Not very easy, probably. Would you be able to fill a hot water bottle to give to them?
Hot water out of the tap? Can you get hot water? No.
No, that's what I thought. So the thought was to take just like a used water bottle like this, fill it with, it doesn't have to be clean water, and then just leave it in the sun till it warms, and then just to rub it on this area. Or even a hot stone. So, I don't know, from the fire or in the sun or whatever. I mean, not too terribly hot, but, you know, just nice and warm. And just something then to just relieve the, I don't know, something about heat that is good for the cramping. Then the other was this exercise where, do you remember?
Concept.
And can you give them?
Yes.
Okay. And I would say do that right away. I think that if they're complaining of
Painkillers.
painkillers, just take a painkiller. Okay, would there be a way that they could get just would it look funny? Well,
So would you allow them to go?
you would say to tell them to exercise. And if they still feel really lousy, the only thing. And maybe that is, no, there is nowhere really for them to say, please tell them about the stone and the hot water, then they can do that at home. Okay, yeah. And even the exercise. Yeah, well, not like they're not going through it, but yeah, go right ahead. So when I had a hysterectomy, which you know means that the doctor took my uterus and my ovaries out. I had what's called endometriosis, which is the tissue it goes where it's not supposed to. And I don't know if my cramping was due to that too, but so when the doctor took all that out, I started taking estrogen because my your ovaries produce your estrogen. And then when you don't have your ovaries, then there's all kinds of little side effects if you're still fairly young. So, but taking stuff off. It's just weird. Now I didn't ever have, for some reason, when you're sleeping at night, it's basically a hot flash, I guess, that you just get when you're sleeping. But I mean, you can wake up and the sheets are wet with sweat and pill or. Actually, I have what's called a patch, and it's just this little sticker thing, and I put it on my skin back and forth, so it doesn't have to go through my body. It helps a lot with some of those symptoms as women go through menopause. Did your moms, do your mothers ever say, oh, it's so hot, or, So, but the nice thing is no more periods.
Yeah.
That's the nice part.
The best thing about getting old.
Stop. Yeah, that's the good thing. Yeah. And we are just very pleased that we can provide these kits for the girls. All of the girls at Caring Hearts High School have a kit already. And the kit contains shields and liners that they put in their panties to control the bleeding each month. And then they can wash them and reuse them. The sun, they hang them on the liner on the clothesline, and the sun sterilizes them, and they're germ-free for the next time that they need to use them. And it's just wonderful that it's something that they don't have to buy and throw away. So we're very pleased that we have been able to make enough of these kits to supply for the girls here, and our goal is to supply kits for the girls in all of these outlying areas at their schools for all of the girls who need them. Today we were here to train the teachers so that when we have kits available for their schools, then they can immediately give the information that they need about reproductive health, and then to show the girls how to take care of their the kit, all the different components that they have, so to keep those clean and how to use them, and they can get them right away and put them to use. The bags contain 2 shields, which are they have pockets at each end so that you can put a liner, which is a trifold piece of cloth, into the pockets of the shield to hold it in place, and then that is snapped into the crotch of the panties. And each girl is given 2 shields, 8 liners, a washcloth and a bar of soap, and 2 pairs of panties, because we know that that is something that oftentimes that they just need the panties to attach the shield to. And that it comprises the kit. It comes in a nice drawstring bag.
My name is Susan Thompson, and we're at Caring Hearts High School giving a class on Days for Girls Washable Sustainable Menstrual Products to approximately 30 teachers from outlying school areas, so that they can go back to their girls, young vulnerable girls, and teach them about reproductive health care using the Days for Girls kits. What else? Initially with the teachers, we are distributing 2 Days for Girls kits and Days for Girls flip chart, so that they can go back to their schools and teach young girls that are starting their menstrual cycles about their bodies and what happens when they have menstrual cycles, and they will be able to show the kits to them. And eventually our team back in the United States can hopefully make enough kits to distribute to some of these schools. And also next year we're going to start an enterprise at Caring Hearts High School using their treadle sewing machines, so that they can actually make the menstrual care kits and sell and employ local women and sell to local women to become a sustainable business enterprise. A Days for Girls menstrual care kit with care lasts approximately 3 to 5 years if taken care of properly. So what it does, it eliminates having to buy pads monthly, and once they have a kit, they can manage their periods for 3 to 5 years with one kit.
Today we have been taught on how to use reusable pads. The initiators have come up with a kit that is made up of fabrics that can be stitched, made of very absorbable materials. And the kits that they have come up with, the girls are able to use them during the menses. The girls have been going through a difficult time, especially if they are not able to afford the commercial sanitary towels. But now they'll be able to have those the kit which will take care of them during their menstruation periods, every month. They are reusable. They can be cleaned, dried up, and reused again. And these are very useful because they'll not have to worry about the cost. And they're also very comfortable. They can be used throughout the day, be cleaned up the following day using soap and water, which are very affordable to the children. So they are going to be very useful for our students because some of them come from very poor backgrounds where parents are not able to afford the sanitary towels on monthly basis because they are very expensive. But these ones, once they have the kit, they'll be able to use it several times. Those who have come up with it, our visitors have said you could use them up to 4 years, and they will be very beneficial to the students.
Today we came to learn more about the girl child, especially how we should assist our young girls in primary schools who are needy. We've learned about their reproduction health, how we should go and teach them so that the girls should understand themselves first. We've learned about the male reproductive system also, where we should teach the girls also to know how they should be careful when they grow up, because when they start getting the menstrual period, they can get babies anytime. We also learned about how they can protect themselves, that is life skills, how in case of an attack, what the girls should be told to do. Sanitary towels. We've learned of a new way of girls to use during their periods. The sanitary towels we've talked about here, or which have been introduced here, they are reusable. They can be used for 3 years to 5 years. It will be a very good thing to the girls, especially those girls who come from a poor family who cannot afford sanitary pads every month. So the sanitary pads which have been introduced here, they can be washed and reused. It will also give the girl safety when they are in school. It will not make any girl miss, there will not be any girl who will miss school because of having periods. So the sanitary pads are reusable and they can be used for 3 to 5 years.